Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of Str8up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin, joined by my co-hosts, Brandon and Christina. How you doing today? I almost forgot your name, Christina. Almost.
I see that. I saw that.
And it begins.
And it begins, but
And
hey,
it begins.
because it always begins because me and Christina are always battling, man. We always fighting, always going
Every
at
day.
it. And it's like I think this is a brand new season, kind of sort of. We're kind of already into it, but we have not gotten into it yet. But on our previous season, we had our guest today who is joining us today that came on our show, and they would not let me and Christina go at it because they were giving me and Christina a mouthful. So without further ado, if you are a fan of the show, you know that all of us right now are single. So we talk about that, and dating now is different. It's not like it used to be. And so we had a couple, and we didn't have doctors, professionals. We had some people who was going to give it to us raw. And they came on our show. They were the most straight up people. And I kid you not, it was probably the most edited episode of Straight Up because they were so raw. But y'all said y'all loved it. And so guess what? We brought them back on. So on today's episode, you may see me right now, and I'm trying right now, but I need to go to a fat camp. But today, we're going to a boot camp with dating. And I'm just saying, like, girls love the big guys. But anyway, we're going on a dating boot camp. And so without further ado, help me welcome our guest from Undivorceable on YouTube, everything you can find on social media. Undivorceable, Kitty and PJ. How y'all doing today?
Woo! Doing good. We're great. We are great.
God's green earth.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. And
much love to everyone on the show.
Yes, ma'am. And finally, Christina, I got a chance to hang out with them last month. Got a chance to meet them and break the ice and say, who is this? Who's Calvin? And I know I told PJ I was gonna sit on him, but I didn't because it was his birthday. But man, PJ, we finally met and we got a chance to goof off and act up.
It was a great experience. I loved it. We were just bringing down the house. It was nothing but great energy and love, and he fell right in, and everybody was having a wonderful time. Just a wonderful time at PJ's birthday party, and man, it was amazing. It was awesome. So we're gonna do it again, not for a birthday, but just for no reason, just because that's what we do. We have fun.
Next week, because y'all get married next week, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will be getting married in Miami.
What?
Right down in South Beach. So we be ready to kick it and ready to do it.
We get married on a yacht.
Yes.
Right.
Because Miami is the land of the pretty people, and we're pretty.
Yeah.
We had to go boat style. So we doing it a little big.
Yes.
So
Doing it big and flowing with it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Boat.
Absolutely.
All the goodness.
Absolutely. All the goodies.
Waving the sea and everything.
But that Friday night though, I'm hitting KODs though.
KOD.
King of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds.
With permission. With permission.
Yeah, because we already had this conversation already, PJ. So we already know what the deal is. So but no, if y'all don't know who Undivorceable is, right now, while you're listening to us, go ahead and go to YouTube, Instagram, subscribe and like them. Undivorceable for you. Make sure you follow them because they have a great, unique story. And it's kind of, while you listen to the show, you will understand why we have them, because when you talk to them, they have this unity that's just, it's different than most people. Not only are they're older than us, but they're more wiser because they've been through it. They've seen it. And it's kind of like you want that in your life, to have that straight up moment, that straight up just that realness when it comes to relationship. And they gave us some pointers that I'm like, wow, you know what? Because they'll tell you, we'll talk on the phone for like 3 hours at a time, and just y'all preaching at me about stuff I need to do right, and whether it's about health, wealth, or y'all stay on me. So that's love. And so they have a unique story. So let me catch y'all up right quick. When it came to, they were high school. Well, my bad. They were middle school, high school sweethearts, middle school sweethearts until high school, and they dated on and off, and they kind of got separated along the way. They moved on to their separate lives. They had children, got divorced, and so they had a unique story of finding each other. And we're not going to tell you how they found each other, but they did. If you want to know that, go to our previous episode with them. But it's a very unique story. And let's just say that, it came full circle. So we heard their unique story. And like I said, they always give us, and me especially, advice on what to do. So with that being said, we need to go to boot camp. And PJ, Kitty, here it is, almost 2022, and your boy is still single. Christina, I don't know what you got going on, but I'm still single.
I see that face.
I'm single. I'm not.
Have you been working on the resting face?
Today.
Have you been working on that resting face we talked about?
Yeah, the resting.
What?
This is my face.
The resting face.
I smile all the time. I told you, I smile all the time.
You smile all the time. Really.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You got a beautiful smile.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just something about my face that tells people go away.
If you smiling, ain't nobody saying go away. They're saying I'm
If you
approaching.
speak to me, I smile automatically, unless it's Calvin.
Hello. Anyway, so we got somebody else with us today. We got Brandon with us, so he's going to join in on the conversation too. And so
let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, because I missed the greatness last time.
Oh,
I was not invited to that party.
Oh,
and
my
especially
friend.
when it comes to the unedited stuff and the the explicit content. Yeah. I'm out.
Well, welcome to the party. The VIP room always has chairs. It always has chairs. Welcome, welcome. So let's go. What y'all got for us? What y'all got for us this time?
So this episode is based off of you. We got some fan reaction. And so a couple of weeks ago, we asked y'all, when it comes to dating, what are some of y'all's biggest obstacles? So Kitty and PJ, that's the question we're going to focus on today. And like our show, there's only one rule to our show. Brandon, since Christina won't answer the question, what is the rule to our show? You gotta
be straight up.
So
all
Kitty
day,
and PJ, can y'all handle this?
We're going to be straight up and we're going to put it down. How about that?
All right, here we go. All right, so one of these questions is that, and I don't know who's going to take this, okay? So one girl asked on Facebook, she says that one of the biggest obstacles she goes through is that men are too sexual-minded in the beginning. It's always sex first, and the physical attraction is first, but then after that, there's nothing else. Like, so in that situation that she's going through, how can she overcome that? And since, we're in the age of social media and you have options, how can people just get rid of that sex first mentality? Why is that so hard to find? Or what kind of advice do you have when it comes to that kind of situation?
From a female perspective, she needs to get real with how dating is. First of all, you're attracted to what you see. And when you're attracted to what you see, most people are going to think, oh, wow, I want to hit that, or, oh, he can hit it. So to say they always go sexual, that's both male and female, because you're going to give a person a time of day that you feel is attractive to you, and when you get to the point where they're like, oh, well, they just want to be sexual. Well, the thing of being attracted to someone, male and female, because a lot of women are so quick to put it off on the man, when the truth to be told is you're giving him the time of day because eventually you see yourself doing something more with that individual. You just want the relationship to come with it, because you're not looking at a person, brand new person to you, and you're saying, okay, he asked you for your number, and you're looking at him like, okay.
Wonder how many degrees he got.
Exactly. It doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen. The attraction is there. The only thing is, it's not really ladylike to say, oh, I really want to hit that. But in turn, she went back to the table and told her friends just that.
But that's the biggest problem, though, because you might as well just say it up front, because why
not necessarily say it up front, but don't charge someone else for what you don't want to hold yourself accountable for. Because in essence, you want the same thing. You just don't want to look like a hoe thinking it and saying it out loud. So the thing about it is, we both want to be intimate with what we are attracted to. It's just how we get to it. Now, the gentleman she may be running into may be a little bit more verbally blunt with her, where she may want it romantic. I'm eventually going to give it to you, but I want you to romance the stone out of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to just...
they want you to pay them. Pay for dates.
You know what I'm saying? They want to romance it. Because a woman knows already whether or not she feels like she sees herself being sexual with you up front. Within a mission initially seeing you, or it may take a couple days. And she say, you know what? He seemed like all right. As long as he don't say nothing or do nothing throw, I'm gonna let him hit. But you don't want to say it because again, you don't want that stigmatism of looking like a hoe. But the thing about it is to play victim, and I'm so tired of people playing victim. Oh, all they want is sex. Oh no, well, I'm sorry.
Everybody wants sex.
Everybody wants sex. Eventually. But it's how you come to it. Now the guy may want it right now, and there's some savage women out there that want it right now as well. But a lot of times you don't want to say, oh, I slept with him the first night I met him. Because again, you don't want to be perceived as loose, perceived as a hoe, although you really did want to do it.
Although you really is.
And then sometimes a lot of girls that say that, oh, they just want sex. That's because you done gave them sex. You gave Jim sex on the first, second date. You gave Samuel sex on the first, second date. And when they hit you, either you wasn't a good lay or your conversation couldn't keep them stimulated, or it was something about you that they didn't say. So now you back in that same cycle and it's all men want sex. Well, a man wants that from you, but did you give it to him? And that's why you feel like that right now.
Gave it up too fast.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be real about the situation. That's what we're going to have today. We're going to have some real conversation. We're going to have some real conversation.
All right.
And with that, hold on. And with
but sometimes they just don't want you, period. Like they don't want anything beyond it. And a lot of people aren't ready to accept that, but. And with a lot of women, it's everybody wants sex. When you see a person, you're like, oh, I like this person. I'm interested. But for a lot of women in particular, that sexual part is just as strong as it is with men, but it passes quicker with women.
Mm-hmm.
For some women, like you, it's there, but you be like, I can live without it. It's fine, and you go on.
But a lot of times that's living without it because you can't get it from who you want when you want. So you just get comfortable in your situation. It's not a desire. It's just your current situation.
Woo.
A lot of people out here are celibate, not by choice, but because they don't have the flavor of the month to scratch that itch. They don't have that number they can call to take care of that. It's real spit. They don't want to, they don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Well, no. I do think there are some women and even men who are just not into it. Now,
I'm not saying everyone. There's asterisks to everything, but I'm saying not everybody that's screaming I'm celibate or I'm saving myself or such and such are really doing it on purpose. There are some people that are celibate by situation. That means they're not dating anyone. Nobody's calling their phone. They don't have anybody in the Rolodex to call on a Friday night. They don't have no $40 options out there. I'm saying situations. We don't talk about people in situational celibacy. It always goes back to, oh, well, I'm celibate by choice. Are you really? If you really are, you really are. You trying to get right with God. You don't put yourself out there so much. Now you're trying to get right. You're trying to do better, make better choices, better decisions. But there are plenty of people out here, and I know because we get the phone calls, we get the messages, we get this, tell me that. Where can I find? Does he have a brother? Does he have a cousin? All of that. They're celibate. They're not having it by situation. Celibacy, the act of being celibate is just not having sex. That's just the definition of you just not having sex. That don't mean you want to not be having sex. That just means it's not something in your situation right now.
All right, so wow. That is a lot to go through. Like, if y'all are listening right now, that's just one question. Like, this whole episode is about to just be raw. They're no pun intended, but this whole episode is going to be just like this. And so right now we have Undivorceable. They're already coming with the heat. So we hope that you stay tuned on the other side of the break. This is the Str8up Show podcast. We're going to dating boot camp. Stay tuned.
Tired of the same old boring clothes? Want to support your favorite podcast but don't know how? Well, you're in luck. The Str8up Show podcast store is finally here. In our Teespring shop, you can find all the merch that tells the world you're keeping it straight up. From t-shirts to masks to even leggings, our store has you covered. Just visit Straight UpShowPodcast.com and click that merchandise button. That's STR8UpShowPodcast.com.
All right, welcome back to the Str8up Show podcast. We are at a dating boot camp with the undivorceable couple of Kitty and PJ. Sorry, don't have pity because we don't want to have it on the show. Because today, if you haven't heard, Kitty and PJ have been bringing a fire. They're already telling us about what things people are doing wrong, what they do right. So this is a dating boot camp, and already right now on our Facebook, this is also another question we asked on Facebook. But make sure you go follow PJ and Kitty at Undivorceable for you, number 4U at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all their social media platforms. So once again, Kitty and PJ, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, they're getting married next week, so make sure y'all cheers up and tell them congratulations. So they have a unique story, and they're giving this perspective because they have lived life. They've been through just life when it comes to dating and relationships, marriage, and so they're kind of the OGs to the game. So we're gonna have them to the straight to everything because they're on me all the time. So now I want to spread this love. They're going to spread love with the listeners. So, hey, without further ado, let's keep going back at it. Brandon, you said you had some comments in our Facebook session. What you got for us?
Natalie, who is a colleague of ours, who asked, how honest should you be on a first date? Now, kind of adding that to what we talked about. If a woman straight up says, hey, tell me right now, I'm not big on sex. So putting that out in the open, you saying right there, that should put in that guy's head, okay, I either need to walk up now, this dinner day is about to be over, or I'm going to try to respect the wishes. I think a woman should very much stay firm. If she has that issue with that, let it be known. Because you do have some men who can wait. We'll make a joke about it. I make a joke about it all the time, but we'll actually wait on it. So I think if it's really a make or break issue, please let it be known. And if you have to, put on some extra layers on the first date or something, try to make it less hard. Because me, Calvin, know me, you have a little bit of this, I'm going to be like this. So I'm just saying, if you want a man to not be so energized on the first date, let it be known. Hey, I'm not about that. I'm not about that for now. I like it, but I'm tired. I'm tired, and I'm just looking for something a little bit more serious.
Gotcha. PJ, you want to take that one? Honesty on the first date. How honest should you be?
Everybody bringing their representatives to the date most of the time. You know what I mean? So do I really think I'm going to get 100% honesty out of a stranger? Someone I've just met on first time going on a date? I don't think so. You ain't going to sit and tell me your Rolodex. You ain't going to give me none of that. You know what I mean? If I ask a woman right now how many dudes you smashed, you know what I mean? She going to tell me, oh, yeah, it's just a few guys. You ain't going to put no number on it. But, the number, we know the number, like Wale say, multiply that by 3 or 5. You know what I mean? So I really think that everybody's bringing representatives to the date. You know what I mean? You try to bring your best version because you want to be attracted to that person still. You know what I mean? So, honesty, I think that's kind of overrated. Some people will tell you some honest things about themselves, but the things that they feel like that you're going to be a deterrent, that's going to turn you off, they ain't going to be honest about that. You know what I mean? Now, I could be honest about the type of food I like, or the places I want to go, and things like that. But when it comes to partners I've had in my past or the type of relationships I was in, and we hide all those things. We have to get into the relationship to discover a lot of these things. So we all say we want honesty, but I always say that, I quote that movie. He said, you can't handle the truth. So if I told you the truth, you really can't handle it. So I just think it's just conversation.
Right. And nobody's really
it should be a good conversation, but I think that is once again how serious you need to be if you're looking for something. If you ain't gonna, at least let it be known, hey, this is what my baggage issues are. If you're not willing to do that on a first date, then you're preparing yourself for some issues in the future. So you're right.
Well,
some people might not be doing that, but you should.
But
It might be overrated.
But just because you should doesn't mean you are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you should not leave dirty dishes in the sink before you go to bed, but a lot of people do. So not many people are going to talk themselves out of most women are not going to talk themselves out of a potential suitor if they think that's something that he needs. She's hoping he gets to know her more so he can hold her accountable for who she is trying to be right now versus who she is in the past. And men vice versa. Most men are not going to come to the table and say, you know what? I got a stable of 4 chicks already, but you look good and I like the way you're talking. You can be 5 if you play your cards right. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And a lot of women will say, you know, when they get caught up later on, be like, well, you should have just told me. Well, no, he's not going to tell you that, because what if he dates you and your personality, your charm, his experiences with you, it makes you number one and he gets rid of the stable. Nobody's willing to do that while they're out here searching. And besides, most people are potentially looking for someone. And then there are some people that are at a point of their lives where they just really honestly are just wanting to date, find people, have a good time. They're not looking for anything that's going to connect them, physically, emotional for a long time with a person. They're just looking to have experience. They're just looking to have experiences. That's it. So you just have to find out what's part of the spectrum you're on, but expecting somebody to be upfront at the table, dinner hasn't even been served or dessert hasn't even been served, the check hasn't been come, to just answer that type of question. If you say, well, what are you actually looking for? They're going to tell you some things that they're looking for. But if you're expecting somebody to just blatantly come out and just blatantly, in the world of civility, most people are not taught to do that because you are a stranger at that point.
Yeah.
So you're going to have
strangers usually.
Exactly, stranger danger. I mean, we're all in that age group of, you heard stranger danger. So you are really, literally, theoretically trying to find a comfort zone with this stranger person. So you're going to give a little bit, hoping you get a little bit, and then analyze it. That's why we're not animals. We're humans.
That's why, especially female, that's why you shouldn't rush to give a man the because once he get that, that's the prize. You know what I mean? Once we get you, and if we conquered you in that bedroom, we got you now. Now the phone calls gonna get shortened. Now the text messages gonna be less. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta deal with you like that. You gonna come calling me now.
But
you know
Calvin,
that's I already got you. So whatever you decide to do from this point forward, if you want to cut me off, it don't matter. I already hit you.
But Kevin, that's what we were talking about in the first show, in the first segment of the first show. We were talking about taking advantage for dating for what it truly is. And it's what Brandon, it's kind of alluding to what you were talking about as far as getting to know the real individual. Because most people are going to bring the representative, they're going to bring their niceness, but you need to date more. Yeah. You need to ask more relevant questions. Now,
are you a jealous kind of type person? Are
situational.
You a type person? Are you clingy?
Yes.
Are you, possessive? What type of person are you? I can't know all those things unless I'm really dating you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
if I'm dating you for a while, those are things that we're not honest about. Well, you know what I mean? We're not honest about those things that are seem negative, or negative. We're not honest about negative. And a lot of us know who we are, but we ain't gonna tell the person.
Because you're not sure if that person is going to accept those things about you. Yeah. So in dating, and like I said, dating has changed a lot. You can't really ask a lot of just direct questions. So like you're saying is, I like to have sex. Do you like to have sex a lot? You don't like to have sex a lot. Just tell me. So for the things the answers that you're wanting, you need to change them from a direct question to a situational question. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. So in the first segment, we talked about with Calvin, how he should have approached some different things. So if for you, the woman that you're looking for, and you've gone through your Rolodex of what you're looking for in a woman, in a mate, or who you're wanting to be with or date, and you say, do you like to cook? And she was like, oh yeah, I can burn. And you're like, oh, for real? Well, how often do you do it? How often do you actually do it? And she was like, well, I'm real busy, I work and stuff, but I try to get in there on Sunday and do something. So she's telling you what she's already doing.
She don't really cook a lot.
She don't really cook a lot. She may like to do it, but she doesn't cook a lot. And for the woman that you're looking for, the mate that you're looking for, you look at somebody who's a 3-day-a-week or 4-day-a-weeker because you don't want to eat out all the time. So you need to take that into consideration of where that is. So do you see what I'm saying? I got the answer I wanted. I didn't say, hey, would you cook for me every day? You're going to cook for me 4 days a week? Because that's the kind of woman I'm looking for.
See,
that's going to be met with resistance.
Like you're controlling, dude. It comes off like you're a boss. You bossy. So a woman when you come at her like that, that's how she going to respond. Oh, no. Don't do, you know what I mean? It comes off negative.
And the same thing for women. If you're looking for a man who's going to be like your father or Captain Save-A-Ho and all that other kind of stuff, pay all your bills and all that kind of stuff, you don't want to come to him at the table and say, you know what? I need a man that's going to pay all my bills. I need to be able to just go to work and I'm going to keep all my money. No, if you want to know that type of question, you say, well, how do you see yourself, in the home, in a relationship? What do you see your role as being? And that lets them open up to say, well, I want a woman, who's going to be there with me. We're going to share responsibilities in the house. Oh, well, what you mean by responsibilities? And that's getting you to tell me where your mindset is. I'm going to get the answers to my question, but it's going to be in a way
so direct.
Exactly. And it's a way that a person feels conversational.
Got to be indirect. If you learn how to be indirect, you can get all your questions answered. But if you direct, most of the time, you can't handle the truth.
And you're going to insult somebody. When you really, not trying to be insulting, you really want to know the answer, but it's all about how you get to the answer.
And women, I tell women this, if a dude come at you direct like that, real strong, he really don't give a damn about you. He don't care about losing you. You know what I mean? If he come at you like that, because real offensive, he doesn't care about that situation. Because any man that has any interest in a woman, he's going to be a little more tender. He's going to be a little more softer. He's going to come at you indirectly. He's going to be a lot more respectful. If they are disrespectful and indirect and firm and harsh, that dude don't give a damn about you. You just
Next question, Calvin, please. Y'all done turn them loose now. You done turn them loose.
No, it's good. I like it. And as you can see, like, I know a lot of y'all are commenting. We'll get to your comments in the section in the chat room right now. But like, I don't know if y'all are picking up how these two they're in unison right now. How they know they see each other and they can combat and just talk with each other like that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I have them on the show.
I will interject a little here, and that's just because I was reading through comments. Natalie in particular said, seriously, virgin in the city by choice. God alone feels that intimacy. So if you know yourself for sure, just like Brandon said before, stand firm on what you want. And I mean, that's just another part of the process. If you can tell that person's like, oh, we'll wait it out and see, just keep being yourself about it. And like, no, I'm not interested in having any sexual relationships at any point up until here with you. And I mean, that's a good weeding process. Some of them will wait and then leave anyway. And some of them will wait and you'll find out, okay, we can make something work between the two of us. So not every situation, is going to be as cut and dry.
But that's
not every situation.
No, and that's that communication factor.
And Christina, pick up back off what you just said. Dudes will wait on you, but he's knocking something else down.
Yeah,
you can best believe that.
On you, but not for you.
No.
Exactly.
Not all guys will do that. No, all guys will do that. A lot of guys will. A lot of guys will. And what we're saying is very situational.
But everything
is very situational.
But everything literally is an asterisk. And then if he is willing to wait, and again, that goes along with people need to really hone in on the dating process, because the dating process is personal to you.
Yeah.
So if you are personally trying to find
Mr. Right.
Mr. Right for you. Not what they say Mr. Right is supposed to be on TV. Not what they say Mr. Right is supposed to be in your homegirl conversations. Not what Mrs. Right is supposed to be when I'm with my boys at the bar, or I'm throwing darts, or we just sitting around drinking a beer in a football game. Not that. What you want for you. What you want for you. And like Miss Natalie, she's single by choice, virgin, whatever. To God be the glory with that. I love it. I love it. And like I said, you stand on what that is, but understand, even with that, sexuality is one aspect of the compatibility of your life. There is, how do you keep house? How do you want to be spoken to?
How do you raise kids?
How do you raise kids? How do you discipline kids?
How do you do finances?
How do you do finances? There's so many other things that you need to be dating and understanding and having these conversations about, that you need to take dating a little bit more serious if your intent is to find a compatible partner.
Yeah. Right.
Not somebody just fall in love with, a compatible partner.
Right. Because you want to look at long term, and you don't want to just look, like I said, just, couple months or stuff, or fling, if anything like that. And I get it. I get that every situation is different, and not all guys are like that. But
it's never all.
Yeah.
It's never all.
Yeah. It's not never. But in this day and age of social media, and correct me, a lot of people may not agree with this, but I think that social media is a very big contributor why so many people are having these issues, because they are looking for validation. They're so quick to put other people involved in the relationship. Like, I have to be validated. I have to be Facebook official to show that I finally got my stamp. I got my stamp of approval. But like you said, you can't have other people in the relationship in the beginning because you're not learning them. Am I correct? Right? Or
Right. I get it. And having too many people in your relationship at any point is not really the healthiest if your lateral communication is not well. With whoever you're dealing with. Like I said, having those conversations, talking about your yesterdays, your presents, and your tomorrows. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to get to know this individual to find out if you are really compatible, and knowing what your deal breakers are. My deal breaker is yelling. I don't do yelling. We can have a conversation about anything as long as you're not raising your octaves at me. But I have a girlfriend, yelling does not bother her. They fight. That's what they do. That's not a problem for her. But that's her and her household. That's not a priority. Now, if he was to step out on her, that's a deal breaker for her. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to know you in order to find out in your communication and in your dating process, while you're having these questions and you're living and investigating this other person, is this person 80% compatible with me? And then the other 20% that I don't like about this person, can I stomach it and continue to live with it and still grow with this human being? And that comes with positive dating, productive dating. Productive dating.
On top of that one, don't settle and don't force it. You can tell, and they will give you
stop it. What is this catchphrase of "don't settle"?
Don't
people
settle. No, and I don't mean like, don't. When I'm saying don't settle, that's
okay. Come on, explain it. Let's go, girl. Explain it. Explain it, because I want to know.
Because there are some people who, through failed relationships or not, don't want to be alone in the end. So they make the list of options, and they're saying, well, he does this, this, and this, but not these things. Okay, so just like you said, you know what your deal breakers are. There are people who will be like, well, I guess it's not that big a deal breaker, and they'll be okay with it. Well, he didn't sleep with her, but he talked to people on the side. I can't stop him from talking to people, so they'll let that one go. That's what I'm like. Don't settle for things that bother you. But that's not
settling. And saying don't settle is what a bunch of single people who have thrown that out there, and it's became such a catchphrase, because you still have to find something compatible. There is not one person that is 100% of another person. So,
absolutely.
But that settling thing is a word and a phrase that has been put out there to shame people for people making decisions about their lives that other people wouldn't do themselves. And you never know what's going on in somebody's household. So, like I said about my friend, I'm not one on yelling. It doesn't bother her. So what people have done is sit in judgment of other people's lives based on what they would accept in their life. So, girl, you don't have to settle for that. Well, she's not settling. What she's doing is playing the odds in her life.
Well,
she's looked at her
that
priority
is not
chart,
my point
and she's
to it.
no, but what I'm saying is that's what that catchphrase. That's why we have to be careful what we say and how it can be perceived in the world, and how people are literally yoking this in, because that's what they're putting out there in the movies. That's what they're putting out there on TV, and people are continuously to cycle these things, and it's becoming tradition to say these things without explanation and without understanding. So I can't say, girl, she just settling. No, what she has done is she has checked her priority list. And for her and her life and her being, whether it works out or not, for her life and her being, she's decided that whatever that is not a big priority on her list, but these other things are. And he may be meeting these other things. So she's made a decision that for her life, this is what she's going to do. Now, I can sit over in judgment and say, girl, she just selling, because I would never take that. And that's what people have done. And what they've done is they've dwindled the situation of understanding your priority list and what you are willing to deal with. And it's made a lot of people lonely and single in their place, because they're like, oh, my friend's going to think I'm settling and not, and this, and that, and that, third. And no, you could be missing out on a real situation, because everybody may not start here together. But if y'all can work together, and you end up here together or somewhere in here, that could be a beautiful thing that you let someone else or the perception of something else talk you out of.
Because you're building that foundation, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let me put it on side. I can appreciate the explanation. That was not my point. It's like just for other people who are.
I'm just saying word choice. Word choice.
But you
got to be careful with word choice.
But you know, we all got things. We all have things that we.
I'm sorry.
We all have things that we don't like, or what we like. We all have likes and dislikes. What we gonna, what we don't want. But you know what? It doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, you get with anybody, right? Let's say you got your ideal man. He got a job. He got this. Y'all together. Y'all got married. That list that you had can change. He could have done lost his job. His health could have done failed. Things that you didn't want, now that's on the left side of the list now. So what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? That wasn't part of your plan, right? So ultimately what I'm saying is this. We don't know what, we know what we want and what we, hopefully it can stay that way, but life changes. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's gonna happen from day to day. We don't know how a person's where they gonna fare, how they gonna be 2 years from now, 5 years from now. We gonna leave him because he lost. You gonna leave a good man that took care of you 10 years. He lose his job. Now you ready to get rid of him. And he's actively looking for another. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of stuff we really have to take in consideration, because what's gonna happen if something happened to you? You change. You know what I mean? Your health fails. Now he gotta see about you. He can leave you, go get another woman that's healthy. I mean, I'm just saying, you have to be very careful and all that, so don't miss out on life because what I'm saying is don't miss out on life because you so hung up on this and you're hung up on that. And I'm not saying not to have goals. I'm just saying, just keep it all in perspective, knowing that life gonna change every day. Like I said, she done been divorced, I done been divorced.
Throw us out there.
Right.
Prime example. Nobody gets married, I hope, but most people I know get married with intentions of what? Staying married, right?
Doesn't always happen.
Don't always happen.
And we're going to get to the marriage part of that on the other side of the break, especially going back to being single. But before we go to break, I want to ask a comical question, I guess.
Brandon has a concerned look on his face.
It's a comical question. So is it on the first date, is it cheap to use a coupon? Or does it matter where you go on the first date?
Yo, wait. We asking this on this episode?
Yep.
Does it matter where you go? Huh?
Would it be cheap to use a coupon? Do I have to go all out on the first date?
I think you should go out. I think first date should be very modest.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think I should go. I have to take you go get lobster and all this kind of stuff.
And I think it should be discussed too. And that's why we were also talking, make good use of verbal phone conversations, getting to know people before you actually take them out. Because what if you find out while you're talking to her, she like putt-putt golf and games, or she like arcades, or it's been such a long time, she went go-kart riding. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what active listening to somebody. Or she may say, I've never played golf before.
No,
you take her to Top Golf and y'all laugh and joke. You know what I'm saying?
Or 200, 100. I should have a sip of ice cream and a walk in the park and conversation. You know, it could be a nice first date.
I don't know, PJ. You probably just made some enemies when you said that right there, man.
No, but the thing about it is,
that's a preference thing. Not everybody wants to be wined and dined the first night.
Exactly.
Like, I
because
personally am not that person. I'm like, I appreciate you wanting to do it, but
come through
something a little more, you know, like you said, modest. I want to talk to you. I want to see where your attention wanders when you're talking. I want to see if you're capable of putting the phone down or what. Those are things. And just like she said, the details. I like details. So if you remembered in a conversation we had 2 weeks ago or the first day we met and you applied it, that's effort. So even if you come from a place that isn't genuine, knowing it could
at least you see the
later,
effort.
At least you put the effort in, and I appreciate that.
That's
but you know, later on we can do the big dinners or something like that. But it's not necessary. I don't want to.
And I would say don't give because it's pressure for women too. You know what I'm saying? You start out that high.
Where I'm going from there.
And then the expectation, because what if you start that high, and we sitting across the table and we realize we really don't have anything to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So now you done took me to this fancy restaurant. We trying to you know, we playing tennis, you know, I'm trying to throw something across and maybe you got one word answers. So now I'm like, man, I'm at this fancy meal with somebody who's not interesting, not talking, you know, that's stressful.
But
and it's stressful for the guy, like I'm finna pay for this date. We don't look like we got much to say to one another. Yes, she pretty, she fine.
I'm not gonna sleep with you afterwards. So
there we go.
Kitty, Cam, she got one for you. Come tell them the story.
Tell them the story. Not the classroom story, please. Not that one.
What's your story? What's my story?
The movie when you ran out on dude.
We're supposed to be telling my business, my personal business. Okay, so what happened was okay, so case in point, right? So I met this guy in California. He was attractive. He was nice looking or whatever. He asked me to go out. I said, cool. So we went to dinner, very ooh la la or whatever. It was cool or whatever. It was a fancy restaurant. Let me say, it was tablecloths. Tablecloths. Okay. It was a nice meal. But in our conversation, I immediately got to see that he's very arrogant, he's pompous, and he was one of those people who like to show out against the wait staff. You know, very, very comment. Now, in college, that was how I took care of myself in college at Oklahoma University. I worked as a waitress at the Kettle. You know, this is our first day. He doesn't know that about my background at all to know I have a disdain for people misusing wait staff and customer service and workers, period. You know, mistreating people like that. So I'm already ready to go. So, but he drove. I made a mistake. He picked me up. He drove. So we went to the movies after that. And he just kept talking. So we got stuff. We went and sat down. I told him I had to go to the bathroom. So I had noticed on the way in that there was a line of cabs. So I left the movies. I caught a cab back to my girlfriend's house in California and left him at the movie.
Wow.
I can't say anything because bad dates or not even bad.
I left him at the movie. I left him at the movies. And since then, I never ever let anybody pick me up for a first or second date because it scarred me for life. So don't do it. You know, drive yourself. Meet them there.
I don't even carry a purse anymore, so I don't have to come back to the table or to the room. I don't. I'm running to the bathroom. All I got is
Brendan. I see that face, Brendan.
And I'm not coming back.
Let me
see that face, Brendan.
But let me address this one question because y'all were I was fishing for a question about the first date and y'all were getting there. Y'all didn't go to it though. So let's go ahead and throw it out there and and make it really quick because you're gonna go to a break. But So on that first date, if I don't go to Burger King or McDonald's, which I have done, I don't care. And
I hope you were like 17.
I was.
Okay.
I was at college. They was there.
Okay.
Anyway, but if I do, as a man, I do go out and I do splurge. I go to like a Texas de Brazil, or I just go out on the first date. And I'm not speaking for me specifically. I'm talking about as a guy. But if I take you to Texas de Brazil or to a steakhouse and we got our clothes and stuff ready and we all decked out, first date, am I wrong to have the expectations to give it up the first night or to get it the first night because I dropped $200 per se?
Yes, because that was your choice.
Right.
That was your choice to do that.
But
but there's plenty of people with that expectation. But there's plenty of people with that expectation. But that's on you. That's not on the other person. That's on you. That's not on the other person. But because of TV and new conversations and social media, now the woman now fully has an understanding that if a guy takes you to that restaurant, it is a possibility that this is what he's thinking. So that's very stressful for the woman as well, especially if she's not sure if she's looking at you like a first time hit it and quit it individual. Yeah. So you've already kind of started at a deficit if she's not sure if she's looking at you like a possibility of hitting it at the end of the day.
Wow, PJ?
If you did that, like I said, if you chose to go to a steakhouse, then that you got to eat that, man.
You know what I mean? You would duck anyway. You would clown anyway. Yeah, you would clown anyway for doing it. But that's just me.
That's the thing though. Like even if she's saying I want to go here, you don't have to say yes to that.
You don't have to say yes.
That's a little more than I'm willing to pay. You can even make a joke out of it and be like, man, them prices right there. You can let her know if I'm coming off a $200 bill,
right?
I'm getting more dates out of you or something,
because we all grown.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But like Christina said, that might be your first and last date. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you dropping a whole lot of bread on some first dates. And the thing about it is,
got a couple dates left.
For the type of woman that you may be looking for, why even start that if it's not going to be sustainable? If you're not looking for a woman who's that high maintenance, that is going to demand that of you at every moment that you walk out the door, if that's not really who you want, why start that in the first place?
Wow. Well,
so don't. And if she tells you, well, I only want, because we do know a young lady that's like that. Oh, I only go to Perry's Steakhouse. Okay. Well, if that's what you want to do, I don't always want to go to Perry's Steakhouse. That's why you got to take dating seriously. And you got to listen to what people say and take it seriously. So if you don't have Perry's Steakhouse money, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday after church, then she is already telling you that she is not on your list of priorities. And you need to tell her, girl, it was fun. Girl, I'll call you. We'll kick it one other time. And you move on because you can't take her seriously because your pocketbook is not taking her seriously.
Well, she told you already, though.
Yeah.
She's not asking.
And that's a problem. You don't listen.
I want these things, and don't get mad at me later. Don't get mad at me later when I tell you.
Yes, and you can't hold her accountable. Come on, Christina, come through. You can't hold her accountable because you thinking you're going to change her from wanting that when she's telling you.
You're trying to impress her.
She wants that.
Man,
don't impress anybody with things. You try to let people see who you are. And if they're impressed with who you are, then that's where the impressing comes from. Because that's who you're going to be, period.
Brandon, last word?
No, dude, that goes straight to what I was saying in the beginning, like really showing like who you are. Like, me, I'm going to be me all day, every day. And I can't say every female has been able to handle that. So like, that's been a couple of it's been quite a few actually, a lot of first dates, mainly because they just can't handle it. I say one thing, that's a wrap.
I think but I think you need to work on your tact,
your approach,
because you want information. It's how you're going about getting it.
We're not because that went into a whole nother direction what I was talking about earlier. Because I am tactful, but I am a very complex person. So some
like
people I am very much, but I'm also very what you see is what you get as well. But I don't.
How the hell you gonna be both?
You can see. There you go. Complex.
How you gonna be
complex? What makes you complex?
I'm not about to get in all that. That's all. That's about this. We talking about a whole nother thing.
You're very open.
Yeah, I was like, Brandon's a very open person. If you ask a question, you will get the answer out of him. He's not gonna hide from the answer. You're gonna get exactly, what. But my opinion of him saying complex is he's firm about his opinions in certain stuff. So you might have, well, why don't you do this instead? And he's like, because I don't want to. Even though he knows
I was saying, I don't want to.
He'll be like, I don't want to. Well, why are you making it difficult? Because I can't be. No.
Well, this has definitely been a.
I'm sorry.
So, Brandon, what's your sign, Brandon?
I'm a Virgo. Should I say it like that?
But no, it's but this has definitely been a complex episode because
Indeed.
we've been getting so many answers, and I know you all are. A lot of y'all asked us questions in the comment section, but they've been answered already, so no need to re-ask them again. But we have a lot more left over with Kitty and PJ of Undivorceable. Make sure y'all stay tuned because we are at the boot camp and we are getting kicked. Y'all stay tuned.
Hey, Calvin here, host of the Str8up Show podcast. And guess what? We're back bigger and better than ever with new guests, new straight up topics, and a new way to support the Str8up Show podcast. That's right. You can now support our podcast by becoming a Patreon patron. Str8up has 4 different tiers that you can choose from, with each tier having their own perks. Your monthly donation helps us produce efficient Str8up content that you love so much. For more details, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Str8up Show podcast 318. That's patreon.com/Str8up Show podcast 318.
Sultan Salahuddin from Southside Season 2 out right now. Make sure you tune in to the Str8up Show podcast because that's where it's happening. You dig?
All right, so we're back, Str8up Show podcast. If you haven't been listening, we're at the dating boot camp, man. It's been tough. I can't run like I used to, so I'm already running from this conversation because I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling shameful from stuff, and like I'm not gonna lie, I ain't perfect. Y'all listen to the past episode with Kitty and PJ, and speaking of Kitty and PJ, they are our guests today from Undivorceable. Undivorceable for you, Undivorceable number 4, letter U as an umbrella on all social media platforms. Make sure you go follow them. They have been giving us some crazy questions about dating, and like I said, they've done such a great job already. And if you haven't listened to our previous episode, go back and listen to hear my stories because I ain't perfect either. But with that being said, we're going back into it. During the break, we're talking about like just kind of going back and forth. Now, I know right now when it comes to dating, it's kind of like I'm guilty of holding back a lot. Because like it's kind of like I'm gonna get you before you get me. I'm not gonna let you get me, and I think that's kind of how it is dating a lot. Like just I'm gonna get you before you get me type of mentality. Like how do you combat that in the line of this battlefield of dating?
Go to therapy because that's some youth stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm very serious, and PJ and I both we are very very big components of mental health. Because if that's your mentality in any realm of anything, you need to go seek a therapist to help you with that. Because that's
you had one bad experience with one person. You can't bring it and hold it to the next person. You shouldn't. Let's say that. You shouldn't do that. If somebody got you, took advantage of you, that ain't fair to the next individual that you're trying to date or see. You know what I mean?
And it goes back to
it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But that's self-traumatizing. That's self-traumatizing.
I ain't gonna let nobody get me no more. You know what I'm saying? So you'll never be 100%. You'll never give your all in a relationship with anybody if you were worrying about getting got. To be honest with you, all of us get got some kind of way.
Yeah.
Man, that's the game.
That's that PTSD, dude.
And PTSD is not just all about the military.
Yeah.
They just would put, there are children in elementary classrooms that got in a fight and are nervous about going to back school, or they are dyslexic and it hasn't been, identified or resolved. So they have a thing. PTSD is just anything that's traumatizing to your person.
Right.
And how it affects you. So if you're thinking, I want to get her before she get me, I'm not going to give her my heart. That is some therapeutic type stuff that you need to go get settled and go work on. Yeah. And I would urge anybody who has any type of self-traumatizing things to go seek medical help. If you have an insurance card, flip it over on the back. There's an 800 number for mental health. They can help direct you to somebody in your area code or zip code. If you do not have insurance, y'all, some of these therapy appointments, you call the people, they take cash payments. They could be anywhere from $50 an hour to $100 an hour. Therapy is not as expensive as you think. And even if you go once a month, that is you going in a risk-free environment to talk to someone who is not in your circle, that is legally bound from spreading your business, because you can tell your homeboy stuff, you can tell your girlfriend stuff, that may go somewhere, because just because you feel like you're closest to that person may feel like they're closest to the next person. So they're going to share your business, not in hate or anything like that, or trying to chastise your business, but just in conversation.
Right.
You go to a therapist where you can work on that, because that's some detrimental to your life thought process.
Right. And this is a side note outside of this episode, because y'all know we are proud components of going to seek mental health.
Absolutely. And we love that.
But as Black folks, we got to stop thinking that therapy is weak, because it's not. And
it's not.
We have to really popularize going to get help. And
absolutely.
That's me being straight up with you. Because I was one of those people that, man, you soft, man. You got to take, it helps. And so, like I said, when COVID first started, I was one of those people. But getting back to that, because it's with that kind of trauma, right? Like, say, I don't want to date somebody that has kids, or she has a baby daddy. So, like, if she has kids, that's an automatic, no, I can't do it. Now, me, selfishly, I can't do it because my dad, my real dad's not my life. But my stepdad took care of us all our life. And he has no birth children at all. So, like, me knowing that this man took care of me my whole life, and he don't even have any kids of his own, I can never do that to another woman, not give her that opportunity that my stepdad gave to my mom. But because, like I said, some people are traumatized, they won't even look at a woman a second way if she has kids at all, because of that fear of the baby's daddy.
Well, I mean, to just pop in that one really briefly, because, again, most of my friends are guys, and some of them have been in that situation. And unfortunately, their relationships didn't prosper like they should have, because they weren't sure about becoming a stepfather. And in their cases, some of them were like, I'm not ready to be a father. And, at least if we don't have kids, I have a little more time to try to prepare myself. But now you have this child, and what if we don't work, but now this child's, in my life, how are we going to handle that? But you don't see this child as part of my life. And so you're taking them from me. Then you have the guys who just true enough are like, I'm not interested in kids. I don't want a woman who has a family already. I want to be the one to start the family with you. Regardless of the reason, I don't hold it against them necessarily. Because, you feel how you feel. If you don't want a family, you don't want a family yet. You want yours. And she has to be, or they have to just kind of accept their position in life with you and walk away from it, because the child's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's not going to work.
If somebody's telling you what they don't want,
believe them.
Yeah,
believe them.
Don't try to change that.
Well, why he ain't gonna? How he gonna say? Because I got a son. He don't want it.
Because that's his personal choice.
He doesn't have to. He don't want to wake up.
He doesn't have
and
to
take your baby to school. He don't want to do that, because I don't.
Exactly. No, but and that's true for men and women. But again, that's knowing yourself. That's knowing yourself and going beyond the situation. Now, you could be missing out on your blessing woman, but that's his choice. And if he chooses not to do that, to God be the glory, because what you don't want, and what happens sometimes is they say, she's so fine. No, I just want to be with her. and then they go and get tied up with the woman, and then the child and the environment suffers because they don't see themselves being a vessel at all to the child. So the men who make that decision and the women who make that decision that say, you know what, I'm not ready to interject in that part of somebody's life, and they actually don't do it, I have a lot of respect for that, because that is a situation. But that's your personal choice to whether you feel like emotionally you can deal with that or not. That's maturity. To know something and act upon it.
Wow. Whew, man, kind of like Yvette and Jody kind of type thing. You know what I mean? Like on Baby Boy.
No, them was his kids.
Jody was in that thing.
Jody was Johnny Appleseed. He was putting seeds all around the town.
Jody was
on that bicycle.
And Yvette was like, I love you, Jody. Nah, we cool. That's my boy. But no, I was kidding. So I got this question, and it's coming down towards the end of having PJ and Kitty with Undivorceable on our show. This has definitely been a great. I hope that even I'm going to go ahead and extend the invitation after y'all's honeymoon, y'all come back on the show maybe and give us a part 2, because there's so many questions that have been asked. But I saved this question for last because it's a question that that this kind of hits home some people, but it's becoming a reality in my life, especially at my age, especially seeing my friends who are getting married and then getting divorced. And of course, your show and your product is Undivorceable. It's about love and unity. So you two have been married and divorced, and you found each other. That's kind of how y'all came back together, right? But I'm going to read a question from Jacob off our Facebook page. It says, I'm already damaged from a tumultuous marriage as a various family problems going back to childhood therapy. We talked about it already. It is nearly impossible at times for me to understand what a healthy relationship is anymore after being married. So with that being said, with you and your advice, can you and PJ, Katie, give us some advice about getting back into the dating world after being married and how the marriage ended?
Well, what I like about what he said is he's recognized that he's been traumatized, and he's recognized where some of those traumas have come from. And if he's already getting therapy to work through those things, it's just a one day at a time. To get back out there, it is a decision. You know what I'm saying? And it's a decision. You're gonna step out there, and you may date somebody, and you may be like, I'm not ready yet, and that's fine, and that's okay. It is okay to go hang with yourself, to go hang with your friends, and not be ready to be back out there. But eventually you will, because for the most part, we were not meant to be on this earth alone. Having human connections with human beings is a good thing when the compatibility is there. And the only way to know you're compatible with someone is to actually give somebody a chance. And date with productivity. Ask those questions, have those associations. That's the only way you're going to know, is to put yourself back out there. But how you put yourself back out there, maybe step it out. Be like, go to grocery store, say hi to a couple women that look single that you think are attractive. That may be your first step of getting back out there. Maybe when they say hi back and you don't feel like you're going to throw up or have an anxiety attack, you're getting better. You know what I'm saying? You just have to baby step those things. And then you get to the point where you decide to ask someone out. There's all these dating apps now that you can communicate with people back and forth, and, for different things of that nature. Have those conversations, and then go have a talk with people and know your comfort levels. Like you said, he's got all these traumas or whatever. If it quacks like a duck, seems like a duck, it may be a geese, but it may make you feel a little anxiety because of what you've been through. Go back and seek counseling, take a step back, regroup, and then go back out there again. Maybe just take someone to dinner, have a good conversation, go home. Be like, ooh, I made it through dinner. I may be okay. And the next time, go to dinner, maybe go to a movie after that. If you don't throw up or feel like you're gonna have an anxiety attack, then you should be, you're getting better. You know what I'm saying? Baby step yourself to your comfort level, because it's all about being healthy up here in your mental yourself before you try to make these human connections with people.
Brandon, Christine.
PJ, you got something?
I got nothing.
Wow.
You fall off the bike, get back on it.
Yeah.
You fall off the horse, get back up and get on it. You know?
One pedal at a time.
And fall while you walking, get back up, start walking again. Pain and hurt, it's going to affect all of us. It's what we do after that. We get back up, start over again. That's just life. Like you say, therapy, that's getting back up. Start over again. You know, you can't let the fears and anxieties and what, you know, in the plot, we worry about stuff that ain't even happened yet. We're worried about stuff that ain't even happened yet.
With that individual, you know, with that human being.
So you got to learn to be tough, tenacious, you know, and you know.
And you got to know,
life,
you got to know that. You got to know that
and you do want to date again.
Exactly, and that you're worth whatever your journey is taking you on.
You really want to date again. You really want somebody in your life. You really want to be in a relationship, a meaningful one, a respectful one. So you got to do the work.
Ooh, that's hot. Got to put in the work.
When you get hurt, you got to go what? You got to get healed. You can get a scab, you get a wound, the scab gonna come. So, you know, I mean, it's just what it is. So you have to do the work, do the healing, put some peroxide on your wound, bandage it up. Let's keep going. So quit allowing one person, don't allow that past person in your life to ruin the rest of your life.
That's hot. That's a gem. That's a gem.
I think that's like a, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna have to hold his hand to the car, y'all. I'm gonna have to hold his hand.
I'm leaving it right there. That's what we do. Don't do it. Don't let one person, that last person in your life, ruin the rest of your life.
Exactly. And then I would like, you know, to leave you guys with this too. We grew up looking for love. I would want to challenge you to take a moment out of your day and out of your life to search for compatibility. Because once you get so compatible with someone, you're gonna always want to be around them. You want them to be near you. You want to go do that thing that y'all like together. And that's gonna bring about feelings of connection. Mm-hmm. That's gonna bring about more feelings of lust. That's gonna bring about that desire to be with that person that you finally say, I'm so compatible with that person. I truly love this person.
Let me interrupt her. So what she's saying is that old adage that we always heard, opposite attract, that's a damn lie.
It does not.
It may attract, but is it lasting?
It don't keep, the relationship is when y'all can do more things together.
Yes.
Be on same accord on most things. And enjoy each other. Be around each other.
Yes.
If you can't enjoy being around your mate, something wrong with that bitch.
Mm-hmm. So search for compatibility.
Somebody who wants to be around me when I'm sitting on the couch with my coffee, doing jigsaw puzzles.
That part. Y'all can sit on the couch. Y'all can sit on the couch and do nothing. Christina, if you get somebody to sit on the couch and enjoy the coffee, and they like coffee as well, and y'all have conversations, talk about tomorrows, today's, talk about investments, talk about creating a business. Man, just talk about how he supports you, how you support him. Hey, man. But if you got somebody in the house, y'all don't never have those conversations. He just go to work, you just go to work. Y'all just get in the bed, no foreplay, stick it in, get back and do it all over again. That ain't no real connection. You know what I'm saying? But then, that boyfriend on your job, your boyfriend's, what you said,
your work husband,
your work boo,
your work boo. Y'all got all kind of connections. You like surfing, he like surfing. You like flowers, he like flowers. Y'all talking about all this. You got way more in common with the boyfriend dude than the dude that you live in the house. So that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Being able to do everything, most things together. You ain't gonna be able to do everything. That's the 80. You know what I mean? So
search for compatibility.
Compatibility. That's what we talk. Compatibility means a male and a female part.
That is not what I meant at all. Brandon, don't you clap for that, Brandon?
So we with this far without trying to get canceled. About to get canceled right now, but no. That is you love who you love. Doesn't matter who you love. But with that being said, like, you all see why we have them on our show. And like I said, I want to extend the invitation to come back on our show to get us back to boot camp. So there's so many questions that I have to ask y'all, but I don't think we can fit it all in the show. So I extend the invitation to y'all. And next time we hear PJ and Kitty, they will finally tie the knot.
Jump that broom.
It has been.
Yeah, she gonna jump this.
It has been since 1988 that we have been trying to make this connection official. And December 18th at 7 p.m. on a yacht in Miami, we are finally that goal of that lifetime goal is going to come true. And we love the Straight Up podcast. Chris, Brandon, Calvin, y'all family, we love it. You can find us on TikTok and YouTube at Undivorceable with the E. That's UN, the whole word divorce, ABLE, the number 4 and the letter U. See, it's what I'm talking about right here. And you can find us. So season 1 is over with. We're going to start season 2 at the top of the year, a totally different format. We're going to be coming to you podcasting once a week. We're going to be bringing in different entertainment artists and stuff like that in the DFW area. We're going to be bringing them to you. We're going to be introducing them to you. And we're going to be talking about relationship things, getting it all out in the open. And PJ and Kitty are coming to you live and reality TV. Reality TV. So y'all are going to be following us around. No more in the studio controls. You're going to be following us around for the foolery that is called the compatibility of this life. So be prepared because this is real, y'all. This is who we are. It's who we are. So we're looking forward to really a lot of big things. We've been acting. We just finished a stage play, The Shadows of My Past. It was amazing. They did videotape it. So it's going to come out either on Facebook or YouTube, however they're going to put it out there. So we'll send that link to Calvin and he can link it to the show so y'all can see us as Earl and Maggie Jenkins, you know, the fussing and cussing couple, church couple. Calvin didn't say Harry. Why is you trying to do Calvin's job? Anyway, so we're in a plethora of movies coming up. We're very excited about it. And we just want to thank everybody for your support. Go like and comment and share our YouTube, our TikToks, and follow us. You can follow me personally at Kitty Speaks Love on Instagram, and he is Philip Tank Jones on Instagram as well. Undivorceable, the number 4 and the letter U. We love you guys, and we will come back.
All right. So once again, thank you, PJ and Kitty, for coming on the show. Man, they are so much fun to hang out with. I went out with them. And they make me look old because they were just cutting up, laughing, and you definitely can tell that they're in love. So I would definitely encourage y'all to follow them because their YouTube page is it makes you think. So they're definitely somebody y'all want to keep in touch with. Brandon, Christina, y'all thoughts? I mean, we went to boot camp. We somewhat survived it. I felt guilty half the way, but how do y'all feel about it?
I got to hide in the shadows this time, so I was like, okay.
Oh no, you was a little combative this time. I saw you a little combative this time.
Well, I didn't get bullied this time, so I was just like, Brandon, go.
I mean, I felt pretty good about
like
it.
Getting a sign with an arrow, just like get him.
Man, I felt guilty, man. I don't know about you, Brandon, but I was like, man, I did that. Ooh, I did that. Ooh.
I mean, there's nothing to be guilty about anything with. Life is life. People do what they do. Your experiences are yours, and keep it kicking. Like
the greatest.
Don't feel bad about any decisions you made at some point, unless you intentionally, hurt someone or manipulated them or whatever. But
right, exactly. I think
you were a hoish boyfriend at one point. I mean, she saw it. She just didn't want to let it go.
I think the best part about them is being able to make sure it's very. I think at the end of the day, everybody should take into consideration. We hit a lot of points to where no matter where you fit in the spectrum of dating, age, or even the phase of it, somewhere in there you should find like, this is what I need to focus on. This is what I need to, look for, how I should probably look internally to figure out, okay, what I need to do to make this thing work or find something that works. Because at the end of the day, like, hey, we don't know you. So we don't know you or your situation. So find something in this, because there was a lot of great jewels of information to really just make finding that person easier.
Right. And I think that, like I said, and not to kind of double down on what you just said, but you got to heal. You know, you got to heal, because nobody wants to break up. You know, you break up to make up, and when you don't make up, you know, it's okay to be alone. Trust me, I'm alone right now, and I probably the most happiest being alone because like we got the podcast, we're going, but when there are some days that, like I said, you want that compatibility, you want to have somebody with you. So, but it's baby steps, because I think the more you rush it, the more you end up with the trauma, you end up with the hurt. And so it's baby steps. And like I said, it's over 7 billion people in the world. It doesn't matter, just love who you love, you know? So take that into consideration. We're gonna have hopefully a part 2 with them, with Undivorceable. Once again, go follow them on all their social media platforms. You can follow us on our social media platforms at Str8up Show Podcast. We have a website, go to str8upshowpodcast.com. That's STR8UP Show Podcast.com. We also have a Patreon page. You want to support our podcast, you know, need to bring in a ring light, that stuff done. And we're also trying to give back to the community. We have a Patreon page at patreon.com /Str8up Show Podcast 318. That's patreon.com /Str8up Show Podcast 318. You can support us with $3 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month if you got money like that. But we're not asking for much. We also got merchandise on our website, brand new merchandise that's already selling out right now. So make sure you get yours. But until then, we want you to join the conversation. And there's only one rule to our show. You gotta be
straight up.
Straight up.
Oh Lord, it's a miracle. She said it. Wow. All right, guys. See y'all next time.